Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Good
afternoon,
afternoon,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Data आहे ना अजून?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
आहे मॅम.
Have you attended that lecture of DC ma'am?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
See, now we are going to see some of the theorems related to compact space. In the last lecture also we have seen some theorem related to compact space, that what about the union of compact space, whether it is compact or not, and about the intersection, it is not a compact. And we have seen that a subset of a compact space need not be a compact, because to be a compact, the subset should be a closed. Okay, compactness is a closed hereditary, not a hereditary property. Now let us go for the next theorem. Let X2 be a T space. Let X star to star be its subspace. Okay, that means it is a related topology defined on the subset X star, and we have been provided that E is a subset of X star. Then E is to star compact if and only if E is toe compact. Okay, what do you mean by toe compact and toe star compact is, if E is a compact in toe star, means that E is a compact in toe. As it is an if and only if, we have to prove in the two parts and we can imply anything. That means if suppose you are provided that E is a toe star compact, that means if E is a compact in X star toe star, obviously you can say directly that E is compact in X2. And if suppose sometime it is given that E is compact in X2, then directly you can say that E is compact in X star toe star. Okay, have you understood what is given to us and what we want to prove?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let us assume in the first part that E is toe star compact. Okay, assume that E is toe star compact. That means the meaning of the statement is E is compact in the subspace topology X star toe star. Okay, what do you mean by is to be compact set? That means for every open cover it has a finite subcover. To prove that, what is our aim to prove is E is compact in X2. Okay, we have to prove that E is compact in X2. To prove any set to be a compact set, we have to start with the assumption that E has open cover. Say O alpha be the family of the open cover for E. Then I can write it as E is contained in union of all O alpha, where alpha belongs to the index set. What are O alpha? O alphas are open set. That's why we can say that E has a open cover, or we can say E has we have a family of open cover which covers E. Okay, for all alpha belongs to the index set. Okay, now what is given to us? E is subset of X star, it is given to us, but X star is a subset of X. So hence I can say that E is a subset of X, and hence I can write E as a E intersection with X star. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we have this X star as it is, and what is E? E we have written as a this E is covered by union of all O alpha. So let me write down the subset relation, as we have open cover here. So union of all O alpha, I will write here intersection with X star. Okay, so its intersection with X star will be as it is. Okay, so now if I take the union common, it is okay because X star is independent of union. So I can take union of alpha belongs to the index set outside, and O alpha intersection with X star. What we have O alpha is toe. So if O alpha is equal to tau, or if O alpha is belonging to tau, that means O alpha is a open set. So any open set intersection with X star, how it looks like? It is
O
a
alpha.
member of O alpha. We can say it is a member of tau star, or we can denote it as O alpha star. Because how the tau star is defined? Tau star is defined by the open set intersection with X star. What is G? G is a open set from tau. Instead of having a G, we have a O alpha. So this I can denote it as a O alpha star. So I can say E is covered by O alpha star. Okay, what are these O alpha stars? I can write here these O alpha stars are now members of tau star with the help of definition of our related topology, right? Which shows that what it shows? This shows that this O alpha star, the family of O alpha star, forms open cover for E. But what is given to us? We have been provided that E is a compacting X star tau star. If you remember this statement, E is compacting X star tau star. When we can use a definition of E is a compactor, if we are able to find out the open cover in X star tau star. So hence now I can use a definition and we can say that it has a finite subcover, and hence which implies as given that E is compact in X star tau star. E is compact in X star tau star, which implies that E has a finite subcover. Which implies that E has a finite subcover, and hence we can say that E is covered by finite number of O alpha I star, where I runs from 1 to n, which is contained in union of all O alpha star, where alpha belongs to the index set, where index set is simply the set which is starting from 1 to t and so on. This is just like a set of natural number. I have told you this in the initial lectures of our topology. Okay, so now what we can say here, E is covered by this finite number of O alpha star. So can I say this? E is contained in O alpha I, where I runs from 1 to n. Is it
Yes, ma'am.
possible? Why? Because O alpha star, O alpha I, its star can be written as O alpha I intersection with X star. But no doubt E is always a subset of X star, right? And as well as we have written here, what is the meaning of this statement? I will write E is a subset of union of all O alpha I runs from 1 to n. O alpha star means O alpha I intersection with X star. If E is a subset of X star as well as it is a subset of this one, so I can write this as a subset of this O alpha I, where I runs from 1 to n. Is it okay? Any doubt up to this one?
No, ma'am.
Okay, simply instead of writing E as a subset of O alpha I star, because already it is a subset of X star as well as O alpha I. So simply instead of writing that, okay, let me write down this one. A intersection B, it is a subset of A, correct? As well as we can say A intersection B is a subset of B. It is very similar. E is nothing but the intersection of these two, no? E is contained in intersection of these two. So obviously E is contained in each of the set.
Yes, ma'am.
So hence now we can say that E is covered by finite number of O alpha I, where I runs from 1 to n, and which implies we have started with the assumption that, what was our assumption? E is covered by this open cover, and for this open cover we have got the finite subcover, which is, we can write it as E is contained in union of O alpha I runs from 1 to n, which is contained in union of all O alpha, where alpha belongs to the index set. Okay, and hence we can say that E is compact in X2. What was given to us? A is compact in X star tau star. Is it necessary to prove the second part?
No, ma'am.
We have to do very similar way, or you can just write each जहाँ पे भी आपने implies लिखा है, अगर आप वहाँ पे implies and implied लिखोगे तो we can prove this part. Okay, so it is very easy to go for the second part. Directly you can write instead of writing implies everywhere, you can simply write it as a implies and implied and hence the proof. It is very easy, as we have proved for the first part, very similar to the first part. We have to prove the second one. Okay, now let us go for the next definition, that is finite intersection property, or we can say FIP, finite intersection property. What is a finite intersection property? The definition I will write down. You should understand it and tell me what you understand from this definition itself. Let a family K be a family of subsets of X, be a family of subsets of X X is non-empty set, mod X is non-empty set, K is said to satisfy, K is said to, initially we will write X is non-empty, K is said to satisfy finite intersection property FIP if the intersection of finite subfamily of K, if the intersection of finite subfamily of K is non-empty. Okay, try to understand this and tell me what you understand from this definition. Okay, what is given to us? K be the family of subsets of X. Okay, how to collect the subsets of X? It's just like power set of X, no? But it is not completely power set of X, but it is simply family of subsets of X, where X is non-empty set and K is said to satisfy finite intersection property if intersection of finite subfamily of K. That means you have to take some members from your family K and then take their intersection, and if that intersection is non-empty, then it is called a finite intersection property. Suppose I have a family K, I will write down as a set of all singleton sets where X belongs to capital X, right? These are also subsets of X, no? Every singleton set is a subset of X. K be the family of subsets of X. K is said to have a finite intersection property. Here we have to take finite number of elements from family K and take their intersection. Suppose I have taken only 2 elements from family K. So what is the intersection? It is empty, no? Because we have collected every singleton set. Barobar, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the intersection of these two elements? Intersection of these two elements will be empty. Hence, we can say that K is not satisfying FIP. K is not FIP. Okay, try to understand this and tell me if you have a doubt. Yes, any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Now let us go for the theorem related to finite intersection property. Let X to be a T-space. X is compact if and only if any family of K of a closed set in X satisfy finite intersection property has a non-empty intersection. Okay. What is given to us in the first part? Let X2 is a T-space. This is a common statement in both the parts. Then X is compact if and only if X is compact if and only if any family K of closed sets, any family K of the closed sets in capital X satisfying FIP has non-empty intersection. Has non-empty intersection. Okay, only if part. What is there in the only if part? X is compact, it is given to us. What is our aim to prove that? We have to prove that any family K of a closed set, we have to take the family of a closed set from X satisfying finite intersection property. That means we have provided that family of a closed set are satisfying finite intersection property. That means if I take many number of a closed set or rather we can say finite number of a closed set from your family K, then it has the intersection is non-empty. Okay, has non-empty intersection. Now there are two different concepts. Any family K of a closed set in X satisfying FIP has non-empty intersection. Okay. Now let me write down what is given to us. Okay, given to us is a X is compact. Let K be the family of a closed set. Given that, what is given to us? Let K be the family of closed set in capital X, given that it satisfies finite intersection property, that is Ki, I runs from 1 to n, that is if we take any finite number of members from family K, then intersection is non-empty, where each Ki belongs to capital K. What is our aim to prove that now? The family K belongs to capital K is non-empty. Have you understood what is our aim to prove? Read the statements carefully because finite intersection property is given to us, but we have to prove that any family has non-empty intersection. We should concentrate on this statement. Any family has non-empty intersection. This is given to us. It has a finite intersection. So that's why I have written that this family has a finite intersection, but we have to prove that it has arbitrary intersection is also non-empty. Are you getting what is our aim to prove?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, finite intersection हमें दिया है, but we want to prove that it has a arbitrary intersection is also non-empty. Okay, so for proving that arbitrary intersection is non-empty, let us assume the contradiction that this arbitrary intersection is empty. Assume that if possible, K belongs to K, that is K I have taken from family K, it has empty intersection. Taking complement on both sides, what will happen if I take a complement on both sides? This intersection of every member of family K, its complement is equal to complement of phi, which is equal to x. Right? Now, as it is an intersection, its complement, it can be converted into union. I can write union K, where K belongs to capital K, is equal to x. Okay. Now, if you remember, here we have to write down complement, no, K complement, because this intersection, with the help of this complement, it will be converted to union, and this K complement will be as it is. Now, what is given to us? Every member of a family K is a closed set. So, what will be K complement? It is open set.
Yes, ma'am.
So I now got X is covered by finite. Now X is covered by some open set. So hence we can say that X has a open cover. Okay. So if I am saying that X has a open cover, but given that what is given to us, X is compact. In the first part we have been provided that X is a compact set. Right. X is compact, it is given to us. When we can use the definition of a compact space, if you are able to find out the open cover. So you can say here this family of a K complement are the open cover is the open cover for capital X, and hence we can say that this open cover has now finite subcover, and this finite subcover I can denote it as X is covered by finite number of Ki complement where I runs from 1 to n. Okay, now if I take a complement on both sides again, with the help of this using the definition of a compactness, we have arrived to the point that X is covered by finite number of elements of or we can say finite number of open sets. If I take complement on both sides, it will be X complement and union I runs from 1 to n, Ki, it's a complement. It's complement. No? Complement of complement will be the set itself. What is a complement of X is empty set. Complement of X is an empty set, and this union will be now converted into intersection where I runs from 1 to n, and this Ki complement, its complement will be the set itself, that is Ki. So now we are getting that finite intersection of members of K are having empty intersection. Are you getting me?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is what the contradiction. Why this is a contradiction? This contradiction arises due to the wrong assumption that we have assumed that this arbitrary intersection is also non-empty. Okay, so we have to assume that arbitrary intersection is non-empty, and what was our assumption? If possible, we have assumption that it has a empty intersection. Okay, so somewhere we are going to get a contradiction, because since given that, you can write here, since given that the family K is going to satisfy finite intersection finite intersection property. The family K satisfies FIP, and hence we cannot have this assumption. And what should be the correct assumption? This intersection is also non-empty, and hence the result. Okay, now let us go for the second part, or we can say if part of this one. Any doubt for up to this one?
No, ma'am.
Okay, see, the definitions are very easy, but the syllabus is vast, so that's why you should remember everything at a time. Let us suppose that intersection of arbitrary members from family K is having non-empty intersection. In the second part, we have to assume this. Because in the first part we have proved that arbitrary intersection of elements from family K has non-empty intersection. Now this is what assumption. Now what is our aim to prove that? We have to prove that X is compact. Okay. So let us again assume the contradiction. Assume that X is not a compact. Okay, assume that X is not a compact. So we can now say that what is a definition of a not a compact set? There exists an open cover which does not have a finite subcover. There exists an open cover which do not have a finite subcover. Are you getting? If you have a doubt, you can ask me at any point. Okay, let us assume that this open cover O alpha, where alpha belongs to the index set, this open cover do not have any finite subcover. If I am saying that it do not have any finite subcover, what do you mean by this one? X is not equal to O alpha I, where I runs from 1 to n, because it cannot be covered by finite number of open sets. Okay, now again if you take a complement on both sides, what will be the result? No doubt this not equal sign will not be converted. Simply you have to take complement on both sides. The complement of X will be equal to phi, which is equal to union of all O alpha I runs from 1 to n. It's a complement. Okay. So if all phi's are nothing but the open sets, so this union is now converted to intersection I runs from 1 to n. This all phi, its a complement are the closed set. Since all phi are the open set, the all phi, its a complement are the closed set, which belongs to the family K. Right? And here we are getting that this is not equal, no? We are having that not equal. So hence we get now, what we get is finite intersection of closed set is non-empty. Okay, this we have proved. Finite number of intersection of finite number of closed set is non-empty. Okay, but what is actual aim to prove that? You have to prove that X is a compact. How to prove this one? Okay, let us go back to the statement of a theorem. You can understand what is given to us. In the first part, X is compact given to us. We have to prove that this FIP is also given to us. We have to prove arbitrary intersection is non-empty. In the second part, arbitrary intersection is non-empty. It is given to us, and we have to prove it is FIP, as well as we have to prove that X is compact. Okay. So we have assumed the contradiction that X is not a compact. With the help of that, we have arrived to the point that it satisfies FIP. Okay. समजतंय का सगळ्यांना?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. By assumption, what was our assumption in the second part? We have assumed that intersection of O alpha complement is not equal to phi. So what is the point from where you are getting the proof? This is given to us now. You can use this statement, correct? Just now simply we have used that X is not a compact. Possibility we have arrived, right? X is compact. This was our aim to prove, and we have gone for the contradiction, correct? Now what is given to us? Intersection of arbitrary family of from K is non-empty. Intersection of O alpha complement where alpha belongs to the index set is non-empty. This is given to us. Now again, if I take the complement on both sides, what I get? This is O alpha complement, no? So if I take the complement on both sides, this intersection becomes a union. Alpha belongs to the index set. This is O alpha. Complement will be the set which is not equal to complement of phi. It is equal to x. But here we have got x is covered by union. X is not covered by O alpha. But one statement we have written here, x is covered by O alpha. This is statement 1. You can name x is written as union of all O alpha, and here we have got the statement that x is not written as union of all O alpha. You can say the statement 2. From statement 1 and 2 we can write to the contradiction and hence the result. What is the result? This contradiction arises due to the wrong assumption that x is not a compact. So hence we can say that x is a compact set. Okay. Now let me go for the next definition, countably compact. Countably compact space. So what is the definition of a countably compact space? X2 is said to be countably compact space if for any infinite subset of X has a limit pointing X. We have to see the definition of a countably compact space. Let X2 be a T space. Let X2 be a T space. Then X2 is said to be countably compact if for any infinite subset of X any infinite subset E of X has limit point in capital X. If any infinite subset of X has a limit point in capital X, then we can say that X2 is countably compact space. Okay, we have to take any infinite subset of X and we have to prove that there is a limit point of E which is there in your X. Okay, so we have to take any infinite subset of infinite subset E of X which has a limit point in X. If we are able to find a limit point in X for us any subset E of X, then we can say that X2 the topology is a countably compact space. Have you understood the definition?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let us go for the theorem that we have to prove every compact space is a countably compact space. See, I don't have electricity in my home. तभी तो थोड़ी देर पहले ही लाइट चला है. So if lecture खत्म हो गया, अगर अचानक बंद हो गया तो don't worry, you can leave the meeting. Okay. Here, every compact space is a countably compact. Prove that every compact space is countably compact. You have to prove that every compact space is a countably compact space. Okay. You have to start with the assumption that X2 is a compact space. And what is our aim to prove that X2 is a countably compact? Okay, again we can do it by contradiction that if possible X2 is not a countably compact. If possible, assume that X2 is not countably compact space. X2 is not a countably compact space. Okay, so if we are assuming that X2 is not a countably compact space, so what do you mean by definition of a not a countably compact space? They, instead of saying for all infinite subset of X, if every infinite subset of X has a limit point in X, then we can say that countably compact space. Okay, for all की जगह पे हमें क्या लिखना पड़ेगा? There exists one infinite subset E of X. There exists one infinite subset E of X such that derived set of E is empty set. Why I am writing derived set of E is empty? Because if we are saying that in any infinite subset of X has a limit point in X, means what? It is countably compact. Not a countably compact means there exists an infinite subset E of X which do not have a limit point in X. What do you mean by not having a limit point in X? It means that it do not have any limit point. Limit point कुठे जाणार आहे? Universal set मध्येच असणार ना? If we are
Yes,
saying
ma'am.
that it do not have a limit point in X, it means that it do not have any limit point. So derived set of E is equal to 5. So hence we can say that X belongs to capital X is not a limit point. Any point of capital X is not a limit point, right? Have you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So, what we can do now to prove the result? Simply, I have written the definition of a not a countably compact space. Now, here I have written X belongs to capital X is not a limit point. So now just we have to use a definition of a not a limit point. Can anyone tell me what is the definition of not a limit point?
There exists open set G such that G intersection E minus singleton X equal to empty set.
So here we can say that X belongs to X. For all X belongs to X, X is not a limit point. So we can say there exists the open set Gx belongs to tau such that intersection of Gx with the set E minus the point X is equal to 5. Right? Simply we have used a definition of a not a limit point. So if we are using the definition of a not a limit point, if we are saying that this statement is equal to 5, what is a possibility? There are two possibilities. That is Gx intersection E is either empty or it is singleton X. Right? Now, what do you mean by if I am saying that Gx intersection is empty or Gx intersection E is singleton X? What the possibility you can take? काय possible असेल?
Either intersection will be empty or it will be singleton X.
So we can assume Gx intersection E is equal to 5 or we can say Gx intersection E is X. Let me assume, let me give the numbering for this equation as equation 1. Okay. Now we can say that X is not known to us, so we can cover X or we can write X as a union of all singleton set. Okay. So we can now say that X is covered by union of all Gx, or we can say this all the singleton sets are contained in union of all Gx, because Gx we have found now for every X we can have a one open set. Just now we have written now for all the open set Gx G containing the point X, as point X is arbitrary point, so for any point of X we can find out the open set. So hence directly I can write X is covered by union of all Gx, which shows that this union of all Gx forms a open cover, because all Gx are nothing but your open set. So this family Gx forms open cover, but given that X2 is a compact space, so for this open cover I can have a finite subcover Gxi, where I runs from 1 to n, which is contained in union of all Gx where X belongs to capital X. Okay. Now, given that E is a subset of X, E is any infinite subset of X. So, I can write E
Ma'am, you are not clearly audible.
हाँ मैम। मॅम लिफ्ट झालीत, करा वाटतं सगळे लिफ्टात.
रिकॉर्डिंग चालू आहे ना?
आहे चालू.